This new Spider-Man movie is really hyped. It's coming out in just a few days. It's already top 40 mil in domestic pre-sales. It's going to top $250 million. That's what's projected for the opening. And with things that are so anticipated and so hyped, you always get haters. You get so much criticism, and some of the criticism might be kind of valid. Let's look at it. Do people have a point in this? Because they're going back now and they're saying, wait a minute, all those things that we enjoyed about this, the trailers, everything, these things could be like a bad thing. They could actually be something that means you shouldn't go and watch this movie. It could be something that's cringe or weakens the plot or just makes the movie bad. And there are some of these arguments that I'm not gonna lie to you, they do kind of probably make some sense. Everyone has like a valid point, a valid opinion, but what are people really saying? Okay, first of all, this movie, as like the fourth biggest pre-sale ever for any movie ever, why is that? I remember one of the first things that were really hyped about this movie were Peter Parker's character development. It's so much different, so much darker than anything that we've seen before. But is that really a good thing? People are asking, is that really a good thing? It might not be. It might be something that's like a cause for concern because, okay, here's what people are saying. Tom Holland, great performer, but his Spider-Man lost the friendly neighborhood soul. No more moral complexity, heavy on Stark tech and multiversal fixes instead of personal growth and local responsibility. So he's not like the local friendly neighborhood Spider-Man anymore. No, that's not what he is. But at the same time, you look at this movie and it's not about Stark tech anymore because this dude lost everything. He doesn't have the technology. So this argument partly not that great anymore because I think that this movie is pretty true to the comics from what it looks like, because he starts off being this tech engineer dude with a mentor, and now he's going into a life where he basically has no mentor and he has no technology, and he just has this one suit. And that's pretty true to the comics. But also in the comics, he didn't have organic web shooters, so that's another thing. Okay. Another thing that people are saying is, I hear Spider-Man Brand New Day feels very standalone with zero ties to Avengers Doomsday. Now, why are people saying this, and why is this like a marketing gimmick all of a sudden in the past 1 or 2 days? It's because tons of criticism has come out with basically saying that these movies are not even the character of Peter Parker. It's always about other superheroes surrounding him. There's always a focus on something else, and he just feels not even like a side character, but like an extra in his own movie. And this new movie, so previously he had Tony Stark, right? And here he has Bruce Banner. So Hulk is like the new mentor. So it just feels like, what people are saying is that it just feels like he's constantly getting these new mentors, characters that weren't even mentors, supposed to be mentors in the original idea. Because if you look at Tony Stark, he's like he gets some development, but he's basically like a gambling addict. And you've turned him into like a teacher for this genius engineering student. Like, make it make sense, but it works in the movies. Okay, it works, but people are saying, why does he have so many mentors? Why can't this just be like a Sam Raimi movie where Spider-Man is just doing his own thing? Why does he have to have so many people surrounding him? Like, it's not an interesting character on his own. And then there's an explanation to that. There is an explanation. And the explanation is that they have to keep making these movies over and over and over again. So it's probably hard for them to come up with a good story, because good screenwriting takes time, so they have to keep making these movies, or they lose the rights to the movies because Marvel bought them from Sony. So if they don't make a new Spider-Man movie in 5 years, the rights go to Disney. That's how it is. But here's something else they're saying, right? I don't even hate the symbiote, honestly. It just clashes so much for what the film is trying to convey. Like, this is Peter burying himself so much in his hero work. It literally makes him more spider-like. Just kind of annoying. It's the only thing people fall back on. And You know, after all of these movies where it's just been Hulk and the Avengers and all that stuff, and finally you get Spider-Man and it's supposed to be his character development, and it's not going to be Peter Parker because he's going to lose himself in this movie. And you know, you have the whole symbiote thing, and the trailers pretty much make it clear that he's going to become more spider-like and more animalistic. So is there even going to be any character there? That's another concern. That's another question. The new Spider-Man movie, someone else says, has too much going on. Too many villains. I feel like we've gotten enough of these cape films that balance these types of things already. This movie has like 5 villains. Maybe in 2020, that would be a real concern. So people are calling this slop. They're just saying that you're just throwing a bunch of characters in there, mashing them together, and seeing what sticks. And the story is not going to be as tight and as good and original as it's supposed to be. Which is like a valid concern. These movies are notorious for having way too many characters, way too much going on. The new Spider-Man looks like utter slop. Just a bunch of characters mashed together like a kid playing with action figures. Like, they couldn't even commit to the identity erasure having any real consequences. He has his buddies from the first 3 movies back anyway. And that's not true. Like, they don't remember him. They're without him. So it's not exactly the same thing. He doesn't have any support, which is an interesting concept. He's basically lost them. He doesn't have his buddies. So that's not a very good argument here. Not a good argument at all. Marvel turning Spider-Man into a grotesque body horror spider hybrid is just further proof they're creatively bankrupt and will keep mutilating every classic character until nothing fun or heroic remains. And this is probably one of the most valid things that have been said in this video, because the trailer looks like it was really trying to shock you. Like, it's really trying to be different. And it makes you think, is it just capitalizing on the whole trend of superheroes turning evil, like the Batman dark stories and that sort of thing, where it just has to one up what it previously did. It just has to be more shocking, and then people will buy tickets and they'll go see it because Spider-Man is depressed now, or there's no more Peter Parker. He's going to be completely have his identity erased, or he's just going to turn into a spider physically and mentally. Why so shocking? Why is that necessary? And there's probably a valid point there, you know, where the movie becomes less fun and less superhero, less heroic, and where there's not as many values there, where the character portrays some type of archetype that's interesting, you know what I'm saying. But you know, you look at this and it is interesting because it hasn't really been done before. You had Spider-Man 3 with Sam Raimi, and he gets taken over by Venom, yeah, and then you see him turn evil for a little bit, but really he just gets Chad aura. He just becomes more self-confident. He's not really evil. So nothing like that has been done before. And for that, it's probably worth it to go see this movie, because it's something that hasn't been done before, and it expands on the character in an interesting way. And you see him go through a development that he hasn't been through before, and not even in the comics that much. And when you look at it, he gets the organic powers, he gets a different characterization, but it's not enjoyable to him. And the way that they make this movie enjoyable is like adding different characters like Hulk and the Punisher and these different side characters. But really the point remains, is that really necessary? Like, did you need to do that? Or could you have kept this finally more on Peter and focused on Spider-Man? Because the trailer starts off really good. The parts that people are very hyped about, that they start off with, the MJ and Spider-Man stuff, basically devolve afterwards into him meeting Bruce Banner, Hulk, and the Punisher, and all these things that kind of take away a little bit of the story, and they probably make people a little bit less excited about that, because yeah. But then there's the interesting thing where they don't really remember him anymore. They have to remember him again, or you have to look at what happens there. I think that magic sort of spell thing is not going to get broken, but it's going to be yeah, it's probably going to be a fun movie. It probably deserves its hype, and there's probably some valid criticism here about why does it need to be shocking body horror? Why does it have to be so dark? Like, it ain't that deep. It's a Spider-Man movie. But at the same time, on the other hand, it's probably going to get tickets. It's going to get so
I am totally out of control. Happening to me.
And it's going to be an interesting movie to watch and see what happens
DNA,
with it,
right?
because-
If you see me with this stuff,
Thing.
yeah, just the aesthetics of it looks like a ton of fun. And let me know what you think in the comments. And yeah, that's it. Bye.